picture. Remember, I'm a big picture girl. I don't see everything in fragments like everybody else does. I see big picture. These individuals are attempting to turn everybody's males. Everybody's. Even Kay Griggs brought that out. Okay? Remember, before our people were even allowed to be in Hollywood that deep and that heavy, particularly our men, they had their own men, or men that look like what you currently identify as white, in dresses. This is way back in the day. Dean Martin and the Jerry Lewis and all, way back then, way, way, way back. They even had Bugs Bunny in a dress. I mean, for crying out loud. If you go back to before you even saw our people on TV at all, they had those men wearing dresses. They're trying to turn everybody's men. You know, my people have to get out of the tunnel vision thing. Kind of like my son the other day. We were somewhere at a parking lot or something, and he was in his car, and I was in my car, and we had met at the grocery store. Actually, he was following me, and I parked, and he parked, and next thing I knew, he was having what looked to me to be some kind of confrontation with what appears to be a so-called Latin or Mexican, Spanish-speaking, let me say Spanish-speaking, type male who had his little daughter with him, and his little daughter had to be about my baby's age, 2, 3, if that. And, you know, I came over and I'm looking at this interchange, and then when they were done, I asked my son, well, what was going on? What's the problem? And he was like, man, this fool looking at me all crazy, woo, woo, woo. And I'm like, so? See, brothers got that bad. And now a lot of sisters are getting it bad. People can't look at you. Well, no, I just asked him, dude, do you have a problem? Did I do something wrong? Did I cut you off or something? I'm like, dude, you shouldn't have even said anything to him. Those are his eyes. He can look however the hell he wants to look. And he said, no, man, the last time I didn't pay attention to dudes looking at me crazy like that. You know, 2 brothers were looking at me all crazy, and I didn't think much of it. Next thing I know, I got jumped and got my ass kicked. Now, he was a youngster. I think he was like in elementary school, and these niggas must have been like in high school, and they jumped on him, looking at him crazy, and because he didn't take note to the crazy looks, he paid for it. So now he's cognizantly aware when people look at him crazy. And I said, well, dude, you got to remember, there's not a whole lot this guy was getting ready to do with you. He's walking along holding his baby's hand. I don't care. Like, man, I said, see, so-called black folks always got these chips on the shoulder, and these niggas need to lighten up. It's not that serious. Yes, by all means be aware. It's not always necessary to say something. You know, every time somebody looks at you crazy, even if they say something to you crazy. And I had to tell him, I said, you got to remember, sweetie, it didn't have to be about you. He could have been mad at the baby. The baby could have just got through screaming and hollering in his ear the whole way to the damn store. Maybe she's crying because she's hungry, and he's at the store to get her something to eat, mad about that. You know, his wife might have just left him. His mother might have just died. Anything could be going on with this guy that's not even about you. Has nothing to do with you. Yeah, you're right, but still. Like, yeah, I'm right, but still. A lot of times our people get into these confrontations with other people that are really not necessary. Yes, keep your eyeballs peeled at all times, but sometimes it's not necessary to say things. Because some of these people say the most ridiculous shit to our people, and we let a lot of shit slide. And people say, you know, so-called black people are so angry. Yeah, hell yeah, we're angry. We got a damn reason to be angry. People keep fucking with us all the damn time for no damn reason. Prime example, I was in the grocery store 2 nights ago. I had stopped on my way home to get the baby some juice. And it was one of those grocery stores that had these parallel chrome-colored bars that separate cashier aisles so that you can push the shopping cart through. And, you know, it's like 2 or 3 chrome-colored bars, right? So my little daughter, you know, she climbed up on the middle bar, and she was kind of standing up on the little bar, and then she got down, and the lady behind the counter at the cash, I'm, you know, ringing stuff up, and I come up, she's like, how are you? And I'm like, I'm marvelous, splendid, wonderful, a little fatigued and sore, but I'm great. How are you? She's like, oh, I'm fine. She said, I see you got a monkey with you. Now, at this point, I started to say, B-I-T, what? So I gave her the opportunity to try to fix it. I said, what did you say? She said, well, you know, you got, you know, your little daughter, she's crawling on things. You know, I have one too, you know, a little monkey. I said, no, she's not. She is not a monkey. She said, well, I have one too that crawls all over everything. And then my baby said, monkey? Monkey? I said, no, you're not. No, And I was just so outdone. Now, she tried to clean it up by giving me some kind of discount on shit, because, you know, you have these grocery stores where you're a member. I was not a member of the grocery store. I didn't have a membership card to get a discount on the purchase, and I was prepared to pay full price for the purchase. And, you know, when she was done, I guess she realized that she had fucked up, but I'm the only nigga in the whole damn store. Everybody in the line, in the lines adjacent to us, and behind the register, were all what you currently identify as so-called white. And I'm just sitting there like, damn, these people just don't think. They just kind of open their mouth, and whatever the fuck rolls out, just rolls out. Just kind of like puking words out. You know, it's like, damn. Don't you know that with anybody that's a sore spot, especially with my people that you guys always keep trying to say are monkeys and Neanderthals, and we ain't no damn monkeys nor Neanderthals. I think you got shit backward and got your people fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, at no point now, I came to the register very pleasant, but I'm not a poker face person, and when shit ain't right with me, it shows on my face. And she was like, well, you know, have a good day, you know, and you saved this much money, and, you know, you got your discount. Thank you for shopping with us, and come back again. I guess she realized, damn, that was kind of fucked up, but she didn't know how to fix it. Because under no circumstances can she stand in front of a bunch of so-called white people and apologize to me. They just don't do that. Because, you know, once I walk out of the store, you're going to have somebody saying something like, don't you never apologize to no nigga. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I was in a store called the Bodhi Tree in the Los Angeles, Southern California area. So-called spiritual store in the Venice vicinity of Los Angeles, California. Well-known store for its so-called spiritual, psychic type of literature. And they have a front store that's all brand new stuff, and they have a back store that's all used bookstore stuff. So I'm in the store, me and one of my homies and his two children, his son and his daughter. We're all in the store. And one of the employees, youngster, young so-called European male, clearly a college student, you know. He just looked like somebody going to college, and this might be like his little part-time job. You know, you kind of, I don't remember what he was wearing, but he might have had something on that indicated it's the school he was going to, and whatever the case may be. And we were talking about what I was looking for, and I was explaining to him what I needed, and I was asking. He said, well, you know what? I don't know anything about that. I said, oh, well, you know, it's such and such and such and so and so and so. And he said, well, you know what? You probably know more about that than me, so I really couldn't say. Now, I found out later, after we got in the car, why a few minutes later, this guy was sitting outside the store on the ground with his head down looking kind of dejected. I mean, he kind of looked like he didn't feel well all of a sudden. And I was like, okay, what happened to him? He was just so bubbly a minute ago, and whatever the case may be, he wouldn't even look up. So we get in the car, and my homie's little son, who at the time was probably 12, told me what happened. Now, he didn't see the guy outside and whatever, but, you know, I'm a big picture person. So I put this point with this point with this point and figured out why he was sitting out there like that. When the guy said that, something happened where he went back into this little office inside the Bodhi Tree. And my homie's little son was not too far from the doorway. And wherever he was standing, he could hear every damn thing that was being said inside that little office. And do you know that guy's supervisor told him, now the guy didn't say anything big. He said something like, well, I don't know anything about that. You probably know more about that than me, you know, so I could probably learn something from you on that point, so I can't help you with that. His boss got in his ass about that and said, as long as you live, and the boy quoted it to me, as long as you live, don't you never in your life tell no nigger that they know more than you do about any damn thing. I guess the shit damn near made the little youngster sick. So I'm saying that to say we're in 2012, and people are still on some stupid shit and make all kind of shit out of something that's about nothing, okay? So we're going back into this whole color thing. Now, when you are an autochthonous Aboriginal American, you have to make that known. It is always assumed in a rebuttable presumption that you are African American, Negro, black, and colored. And nobody can correct that rebuttable presumption but you. And you do have to start at the top. Now, there are certain people that have to be put on notice. And there are people like, well, you know, Yaffa, Sister Yaffa, they're accusing us of being paper terrorists. I'm like, no, they're not. No, they're not. What they're doing is they're accusing certain people of being terrorists because of the stuff they do and the stuff they say in the papers. It's like, I demand and I insist. Now, that's the patriots. A lot of our people are following methodology of patriot groups of Europeans, which I think a lot of this shit is set up for them. Because it's like, well, you know, it's about the so-called Native American on the reservation, the so-called Spanish-speaking South American people, the so-called African Americans, because all of these people have a right to fight and die for the land because many of them are connected and attached to the land by heritage. Okay? So if you're connected to the land by heritage and they know that, they know damn well they didn't bring your nigga ass from no damn Africa. That's first. Secondly, it's also about so-called poor whites. But what people keep forgetting is most so-called whites fall into the category of poor whites. And a lot of so-called middle-class so-called whites are quickly finding themselves, due to the economy and the outsourcing of jobs and the layoffs and the foreclosures and all this other nonsense going on, bank bailouts to say to hell with the people, a lot of so-called middle-class whites, as you call them, are finding themselves in the category, quickly becoming poor white. And these are the people that everybody's after in these so-called legislative nonsenses that they're talking about. But this is the thing. When you listen to patriots who fall into the category of the so-called poor white that they're concerned about, what they're saying to you is this. When they start writing things, you can read their information to get ideas about format. But under no circumstances whatsoever should you take anybody else's documentation and copy the shit word for word, verbatim, without looking up every goddamn thing in it and doing your due diligence about it. Because what they're saying may not be what you should be saying and probably doesn't apply to you anyway, and some of the rules and codes have to be a little bit different. Hi. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, you can't write your documents, and I've done this in the past, talking about things like, for example, this is damn near a threat. You know, you must reply by so-and-so and so, and you have to respond and this, that, and the other. They don't have to do shit, okay? That's one. So quit making demands on people about what they have to do. You can say the same thing, but wording it a little more diplomatically. You know what I'm saying? Unless you definitely have the upper hand, like in a landlord-tenant scenario or something like that. But when you're dealing with the courts and the police, and there you're outgunned and you're outmanned and whatever, outnumbered, you don't want to make demands. You want to state your position, and that's it. You can also say, if I'm in error about this and I'm wrong about this, please send me some correction or notify me where I'm wrong, or show me the law that says you're right, or something to that effect. You can ask the same thing without all of the hostile demands that would put you in the category of paper terrorists. Because autochthonous, let me put it this way, Aboriginal, Indigenous, autochthonous American Americans have all lawful rights. I don't know about nobody else. I can't talk about other people. But Aboriginal, Indigenous, autochthonous American Americans have all lawful rights to put people on notice in writing about your national, ethnic, and political status. Because your nationality determines your political status. African Americans, Negroes, blacks, coloreds have no nationality